So today's my topic is Sri Madhvacharya and Madhva philosophy, reflections in the works of Dr. R.D. Rande. So for this particular work, I have referred 6 books of Rande. Majorly there is a misconception that Rande ji only focused on Advaita philosophy and researched on it and followed that path, which is wrong. I got to know about this through his writings, and the 6 books which I have referred are Introduction to Indian Philosophy, Studies in Indian Philosophy, Bhagavad Gita as a Philosophy of God Realization, Pathways to God in Kannada Literature, Constructive Survey of Upanishadic Philosophy, Pathway to God in Kannada Literature. So these are the 6 books. Madhvacharya has been an inspiration to many freedom fighters, philosophers, thinkers of 18th, 19th and as well as 20th century. In the same manner, he also inspired Ranade also, though by birth Ranade followed Advaita philosophy. I agree with that, but he was also inspired by Madhva Dvaita Vedanta. Sri Madhvacharya was basically a theistic philosopher who whereas Ranade was a monotheistic scholar. Though personally they were different, but similarity can be seen in their personal philosophy, and also in these 6 books, Ranade very deeply discusses about Madhvacharya, his life, as well as he also focuses on particularly the Dasa literature, which is Kannadized version of the Sanskrit Dvaita Vedanta. So basically, my paper discusses about these things. So Dr. Ranade made significant contributions to the study of Sri Madhvacharya in first book of his Introduction to Indian Philosophy, which was published in 1928. It provides a comprehensive overview for the all the philosophies which existed in India, and as a part of that, he also writes about the Dvaita Vedanta. So particularly, so sorry for the interruption. That's fine, I have no issues. That's fine. So particularly in introduction to philosophy in one of his books, R.D. Ranade, he dedicates only 3 pages to Dvaita Vedanta and Madhva philosophy. But still, in these 3 pages, what he does is he gives a very detailed information about Dvaita Vedanta and agrees to that. That is very interesting. Though people who are very new to Dvaita Vedanta, if they suddenly read this, they may not get exact meaning of the Dvaita Vedanta, but who are already aware about the Dvaita Vedanta and have read it, this comparative work of Ranade of 3 pages in his book can be a very interesting analyzation. And in his another book, Studies in Indian Philosophy, Ranade dedicates an entire 9th chapter to particularly Madhva philosophy and Dvaita Vedanta, which is very interesting, which includes around 5 to 6 pages. This chapter covers pivotal concepts of metaphysical affiliation, the law of difference, which is also part of Madhva philosophy, the Taratamya Vada of Madhvacharya, then efficiency and material causation, the nature of God, the path to liberation, the nature of liberation and interpretation of Mahavakyas and Mahakavyas. So in this manner, he had added these elements. While Dr. Ranade primarily employs translated English terms to convey the original Sanskrit words which Madhvacharya used, can be bit confusing for the people who first time read it. Is another book entitled Bhagavad Gita as a philosophy of God realization. Both Madhvacharya and Ranade's final aim was to experience God. That was the major aim of their life. So here we can again see connect between their thoughts. For Ranade also, happiness was when one can realize the God completely, even when the person is indulged in the most highly materialistic actions of the life. In the same manner, Madhvacharya also says that the final aim of a life, or a final aim of a Jivatma, he calls human beings as Jivatma, is reaching the God or experiencing the divinity of Paramatma or Parabrahma, he calls. So here we can again see the similarity between their thought, and he has also agreed to Madhvacharya's thought in his book on Bhagavad Gita. One more major book about which I have in detail studied in this paper is Pathways to God in Kannada Literature. In this particularly, Ranade talks about Madhvacharya, how Hanuma, Badva, Bhima, the concept of Vayudeva taking avatara as Hanuma, Bhima and Madhva, and what message is behind that. All this has been mentioned in this book, and he also focuses on multiple Kirtanakaras of Karnataka who actually propagated mysticism and the mystic cult, which Madhva philosophy also did for some extent. And one more similarity which we can get through this particular book is that the Kirtanas, which used to tell that Hari was the Sarvottama, and by chanting his name or by chanting the name of Hanuma or Bhima or Madhvacharya, fear can be collapsed, or fear can be vanished from the life. So in his book, this book, Ranade gives his one personal life experience and compares it with Madhvacharya's this philosophy, which was Kannadized. And the incident is that in Kolkata, Ranade once visits a zoological park. It has been written in the book. And he sees a baby kangaroo going inside its mother's pouch when a visitor neared it and tried to touch it. Why? He explains it. Why? Because the baby kangaroo felt that its mother will protect it at any condition. So Ranade says that, as Madhvacharya, he agrees with Madhvacharya and says that if we worship Lord, he doesn't say as Hari there, but he expresses that if we worship Parabrahma in any critical situation of our life, though the problem may not get solved, but we will get that courage to solve that problem. So here again he somewhat agrees with Sri Madhvacharya's philosophy. I am cutting short many things. In his other books also, they contain essence of dualistic philosophy of Sri Madhvacharya. His another book entitled Indian Mysticism gives a very much wider concept about how Madhvacharya has spoken about mysticism in Dvaita Vedanta. Ranade says that to experience mystical God, reality is required. And as Madhvacharya says, Sakshi, Pramana and Anumana, which are major three elements of Madhva philosophy or Dvaita Vedanta, is another name of Madhva philosophy. And Ranade agrees with this because Sakshi is proof. Till you don't experience something, you cannot accept it, which is Pramana. Accepting is Pramana. And Anumana is, if you don't question it, it means that you have not understood that, or you have not been being aware about whatever you have read or you are listening. So Ranade agrees to this concept of Madhvacharya. And another common similarity between Sri Madhvacharya philosophy and Ranade's personal philosophy is that they are majorly based on Vedic literature such as Upanishad, Bhagavata, Purana, and majorly Bhagavad Gita, because Madhvacharya also wrote 2 bhashyas on Bhagavad Gita, and Ranade was very much in love with Bhagavad Gita and Upanishad, same as Madhvacharya. Ranade's philosophy basically can be called as beatification philosophy or philosophy of beatification, in which, as I told in the beginning, final happiness, the final pleasure is getting awareness about that one power which nobody has seen till now, and the one who has seen it have not returned back. To understand Parabrahma, Ananda Tirtha, which is another name of Madhvacharya, he gives 3 steps again here, and which already I mentioned above. Here Ranade mentions that it is a view of reality which regards the realization of God or self as the be all and end all existence, which means that to be present and to end everything in this universe, the supreme, whoever, it may be Hari or it may be Shiva, he is the one who can do it. So the same thing of course is in Dvaitism also. So Sri Madhvacharya and Ranade agrees that there is a power above the human power. Though in Advaita that is not believed, but Ranade agrees with this philosophy here in his book Constructive Survey of Upanishadic Philosophy. He includes only 2 pages about Madhvacharya's views on Upanishad. Though Madhvacharya has written commentary on 10 particular Upanishads, that's a bit huge, but in his book we can see only 2 pages being included. But in detail, though Madhvacharya he reinterpreted the essence of Upanishads, but Ranade in his book has not majorly reinterpreted. What he has done is he has collaborated existing philosophers' views on Upanishad in his book, that we can see the difference also. And Ranade says in his book on Upanishad that the concept of the Sri Madhvacharya is rooted in Chandogya Upanishad, Kathopa Upanishad and Mandukya Upanishad. He says that in these 3 particular Upanishads we can directly get the essence of Dvaita Vedanta, which means that Ranade is agreeing that the concept of Dvaitism existed in Vedic age itself before Madhvacharya revived it in 13th century. And Madhvism also upholds the supremacy of Vayu as Jivottama. And here, subsequently, while reinterpreting the Upanishads, Ranade recognized prana, which is oxygen, as we can call in modern science, as an important element in living beings, in all kind of living beings. Ma'am, in 2 minutes, so he mentions that oxygen as one of the major element, which is also part of Dvaita Vedanta. Ranade decodes 3 levels of higher realization for the existence of Parabrahma, expressed by Sri Purandaradasaru, and in the same manner he also expresses the views of Vijayadasa, Jagannathadasa, Kanakadasa, and naturally they promoted the philosophy of Dvaitism itself. In this manner I have explained the comparative study of both Dvaitism and Ranade's personal philosophy, which has been mentioned in his 6 books. Coming to the conclusion, it was very mesmerizing for me when I was approached to write a paper, and when I got the brochure I was a bit confused because my domain is history and archaeology and my PhD thesis was regarding Madhva community's history and what to write about Ranade. Then when I started reading his books, which are available free of cost at Internet Archive, any youngsters here can read them, I got to know that he has worked a lot on Madhvism and many of us are not aware about it. I was very much mesmerized, and here I was mesmerized to see that the 12th century philosophy and the 18th century philosophy, they both amalgamated together, and the 12th century philosophy was not only relevant in 18th century but both of them are relevant till now. To end, I wish to quote one of Ranade's quote here. One of earlier experiences in mystical life is the experience of the spiritual atom. Able to visualize that Bindu, it is only then it may be said that you have begun your spiritual life. So that Bindu, which when we meditate, we can see the Bindu in our Adhisthana Chakra, and that was also adopted by Ranade and explained by Madhvacharya too. And we can see it in this quote. Thank you so much. I hope I did the justice. Thank you so much.